ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. हरि ओम्. ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरामकृष्णाय. Today is the fourth week of our class on Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, which we conduct here as readings and reflections. First, let us do the readings. Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi by Swami Gambhiranand Maharaj, page 10. The villagers used to bathe in and draw the drinking water from the big tank with tall palm trees on its banks called the Badujje Pukur, or the tank of the Banerjees, in the southern part of the village. Further south, there is an ancient tank with blooming lotuses. On the western side of the village is a big tank called the Ahar, on which the cultivators depend for water for irrigation. An old pond called the Punya Pukur occupies a central position. On its western bank is the new house of the Holy Mother, built in 1916. On that bank again, at the northern side, is a small thatch opening to the south, which is the old chapel of Mukherjees. In one of its rooms, there is an emblem of the deity Dharma called Sundara Narayana, which is of the form of a tortoise and which the Mukherjees worship by turns. Literally, virtue or right norm, deified in Buddhism. The other room is called the Kali Mado, where the goddess Kali used to be worshipped every year. This worship ceased subsequently as a result of family differences. In this room again sat the village school, where the little boys and girls gathered with leaves for writing under their arms and crisp scorched rice moody for tiffin tied at the ends of their clothes. At the northeast corner of this room was a black stone, the emblem of the goddess Shashti, who grants children to worshippers and protects them. Newly married couples used to come to salute this deity, and we fancy that Sri Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother too did so. Shashti now sits in Sundara Narayana's room. On the southern side of the village road that runs over the southern bank of the Punya Pukur is the Modal Pada, the quarter of the modals. And to the south of this place is the shrine of Simhavagini, that is, one riding on a lion, an epithet of Durga, who, along with two of her female companions, Chandi and Mahamaya, occupies a seat, a separate seat being provided for Manasa, the serpent goddess. The Mukherjees are the hereditary priests of all these deities. At the time that we are writing of, Simhavagini was housed in a thatch, but now she sits in a more substantial house with a cement floor and a corrugated iron sheet roof. On the southern bank of the Punya Pukur is the homestead of the Banerjees. From the old brick-built temple, parlor, etc., it can be inferred that they were once in an affluent state, but now all these are in ruins. The main road of the village runs north and south by the western side of the mother's new house and the Kali shrine, both of which are on the Punya Pukur. As we proceed along this road a little northward, there stands on our left the white brick-built temple on the birthplace of the mother. Here was the ancestral home of the Mukherjees, who, however, spread out southwest with the growth of the family. Their houses lie to the west of the village road and open to the east. The ancient homestead had a thatch on the eastern side which was divided into two parts, the outer one serving as a drawing room. On the south were the kitchen and husking sheds. On the southern side of the present dwellings of the Mukherjees, there is another road which, starting from the main village road, runs westward along the northern bank of the Kalugede or Kalu's Pond on the southern side of the Ghosh Quarter, to join the road to Shihar on the northern bank of the Ahar. On the extreme west of the Ghoshpada is the brick-built temple of Dharma, known as Yatra Siddhi Raya, whose symbol is a small low stool with four legs. Of the villages round about Jayrambati, with which the memories of Sri Ramakrishna or the Holy Mother are specially associated, mention may be made of Shihar, Koalpada, Anur, and Shambazar. At Shihar was married Hemangani Devi, the daughter of the paternal aunt of Sri Ramakrishna. It is also the birthplace of Shyamasundari Devi, the mother of the Holy Mother. These common ties often attracted both the master and the mother to this village even from their childhood. The mother used to halt at Koalpara when, in later days, she passed through Vishnupur on her way to and from Calcutta. Anur is known for its shrine of the goddess Vishalakshi, on the way to which the master, while still a child, passed into ecstasy. At Shambazar, he once joined a Kirtana party which sang the glory of the Lord continuously for 7 days and nights. Kirtana, a particular type of religious songs sung singly or in chorus with musical instruments like cymbals and drums to keep time. To the east of Jayrambati, on the other side of Amodar, is the big village of Tajpur. To the south is Jipta, which houses the landlords of Jayrambati. To the southwest is Mashinipur or Mashinepur, and to the west is Shihar. All these villages are within a mile of Jayrambati. West of Shihar is Shiromanipur, which is inhabited by Mohammedans and which boasts of a police station. Jayrambati, though not very far from Calcutta, is not easy of access, and roads were more difficult in the times we are writing of. In those days, people trudged on through village roads and open fields, frequently infested with robbers. Only the rich few could afford the luxury of carts, palanquins, etc. One of these paths passed through Kamarpukur, Arambagh, and Tarakeshwar, the last place being noted for its Shiva temple. Between Arambagh and Tarakeshwar lay a vast field called Telebelo, which was not safe even during daylight, so that people never crossed it alone or after nightfall. This was the shorter of the two routes usually followed by the people, the distance by it between Calcutta and Jayrambati being about 60 miles. And this was the path that the Holy Mother usually trod on her way to meet the Master at Dakshineshwar. The other route through Bardwan, which is a railway station, was a much longer one and withal not free from robbers. People now proceeding to Jayrambati usually travel by a night train from Calcutta to Vishnupur, where they can get buses which ply up to Jayrambati in the dry months and up to Kotulpur in the west, with the rest of the way, a distance of about 6 miles, to be covered on foot or by a cart according to convenience. A modern all-weather road up to Jayrambati is now, that is 1953, under construction, which may ultimately be extended to Kamarpukur. This has since been extended to Kamarpukur. Jayrambati, though thus shut out from modern civilization, does not lack in festivities. It has its rounds of annual celebrations. In autumn, there is a 3 day special worship of Simhavahini, the presiding deity of the village, which draws people from all parts. Besides, other days sacred to other gods and goddesses are duly observed with much eclat. On the Shivaratri day, the villagers go to Shihor to offer worship at the temple of Shantinatha Shiva. There are also Kirtana songs continued for 24 hours at a stretch and rural dramas on mythological subjects which are highly appreciated and largely patronized. And above all, Jayrambati has been blessed by the advent of the Holy Mother, which has converted it into a place of pilgrimage where people from all over the world come to draw inspiration. The white dome of the temple, flying its metal pennant with the Bengali word Ma, that is mother, engraved on it, announces the glory of the village to distant passers-by. The temple was consecrated on the 19th April 1923, Akshaya Tritiya, according to the Hindu calendar, which day is still observed and is made joyous by the presence of hundreds of devotees hailing from different places. The worship of the goddess Jagadhatri, which was initiated by the Holy Mother's mother and for which the mother herself made permanent arrangements, is also performed annually and is equally popular with the devotees. The establishment of the branches of the Ramakrishna Mutt and of its sister institution, the Ramakrishna Mission, which catered to the spiritual, mental, and physical needs of the villagers, has also enhanced the popularity of Jayrambati, and easier accessibility is gradually converting it into a center of attraction. It is a miracle that by the birth of the Holy Mother, this insignificant hamlet should have leaped into such prominence within such a short time. The mother herself placed on her head the dust of this hamlet and saluted it with the Sanskrit adage, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. Mother and mother country are superior to heaven itself. So the first chapter is completed. We shall reflect a little on what we read. Earlier we saw Swami Gambhiranji's introduction where he gives a synopsis of why Holy Mother was born in a particular spot of Jayrambati and why of all the places in the universe, Jayrambati was selected for manifestation of Shakti. And he goes into detail about how the incarnation comes into this world, and when the incarnation appears, the powers of the incarnation also assume a physical body and come along with him, and that's how Mother has come. So after telling this, then he goes into detail about the description of the village. Actually, he is asking the readers to ponder on a particular question, why Jayrambati was chosen. So, and he says, you go on searching for the answer. Even after completing the reading of the book, you must raise this question again so that you understand what Jayrambati has got. So as an introduction in the first chapter, he calls it the chapter as a blessed hamlet, and he says how the village has been blessed from the different angles he examines. One of the important angles that he says is the natural situation of the village. Last week we saw that how the village is completely surrounded by ponds and paddy fields. And not only paddy is cultivated there, lots of vegetables and lots of fruits. And also in the ponds and the river Amodar, plenty of production of fish. So with all this, there was always plenty in that village. And the village has become very prosperous after the birth of Holy Mother. So when Holy Mother was born, slowly the village started gaining importance, and we can see that how people started coming to that place, and then, God bless, and then how this village started growing. And around the second point he says about the different gods and goddesses have taken shelter, as it were, in that particular village. How he beautifully puts it, that when the villagers see and started worshipping, even that Dharma Thakur, who is considered as a representative of Lord Buddha, and he is also worshipped in that village, and each family, as it were, had a different deity, and he gives the names of different deities like Dharma Thakur, then Manasa Devi, and other Simhavayini, and all those deities. And Simhavayini is a very wonderful temple. As he says, it was in a thatched house at that time. And later we find, when we go now, you can't find the thatched house. It is a nice building they have built, and it has got quite a spacious house it is there. And Simhavayini seems to be a very powerful place in that village and our surrounding area. And it is very famous for healing of diseases. So I have seen some of the elderly Swamis, and they refuse to take allopathy medicines. If at all, they will accept homeopathy medicines, but never allopathy. So I met one such Swami, and I asked him, so Maharaj, you are not taking any medicine, but because I was all along in the hospital, allopathy hospital, running the hospital, you see, so I had a slant to allopathic medicine. I said, you must take this medicine. And he said, no. Then what you will have? I have got the mati of Simhavayini, the mud of Simhavayini. In the Simhavayini temple, if you go now, there is a small a place where the mud has been collected and kept like a mount. So when people go there, they pick up a small portion of the mud and put it in a small container and bring it with them. Some Swamis, daily they take a small piece of the mud and put it in their mouth and swallow it. And the Swamis, those who are taking that mud, I should acknowledge that they have never suffered from any disease which can be said as a very huge or big or damaging like that. One Swami was telling me that because I am taking this mud, in my 60 years of life in the mission, I have never spent an anna for purchasing even a headache tablet, which is called aspirin. It is very cheapest medicine, aspirin. Even one aspirin I have not taken because I have been taking this mud. It is such a holy mud, and people go there and bring it and take it. And so that temple also was situated. And
Simhavayini is
Durga, yes. Simhavayini is Durga. Singham is lion. So one who is riding a lion, she is called Durga. So this temple is very powerful. And we find later when Holy Mother had excruciating pain in the stomach, she also refused to take these modern medicines, and she went to Simhavayini temple and she did tapasya there. And the pain went away. So there's a belief system is there that if you do certain penances, then certain diseases of the body go away. So, and you find that village is having plenty of these gods and goddesses. So when you read this account, then you may just wonder, oh, so many gods and goddesses in that village. I said, yes, because where the gods and goddesses residing, where the goddess, supreme goddess herself has to come down, in that village. And there's another important um, deity that is found there is called goddess Shashti, who grants children to worshippers and protects them. It's also very interesting. Shashti means sixth. That Lord Kumara also is called Shashti because sixth day he was born. So that is also the Shashti Tithi is also very much a very holy Tithi. That is when the moon starts moving, whether it is waxing or waning side, both the say 15 days, 15 days, you find there is a date which comes, or a day, from the sixth day comes. From first day to 15th day, if you go, either Purnima, that is full moon. And then from full moon to you go to the new moon, another 15 days. So in the 15 days passage of the moon, these are called phases of the moon, you find the sixth phase is called Shashti. So the Shashti Tithi is very famous for this Shashti goddess as well as for the Lord Kumara, who is the son of Lord Shiva. So he is called Subramanya. In south he is called Murugan. So the Murugan deity is very famous in the southern part of India. And in these places, Murugan also is worshipped and Shashti Devi also is worshipped. So people have, particularly those who do not have children, they do certain penances on that phase of the moon and then they later get children. So that has been, so the author says here, the goddess Shashti, newly married couples used to come to salute this deity and we fancy. So the author says, he also imagines when Sri Ramakrishna and Mother Sarada were married, so he fancies that Sri Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother too did so, he says. Because it is a tradition. And if you don't go to the deity and you say that I don't want child, I won't go like that, if you say, people will get alarmed. So Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, to keep up the tradition of the village, must have gone there. So he fancies. Yes, it must be. And then that, then the Dharma Thakur, we saw that. And then that Simhavahini is also a shrine where she has got two female companions, Chandi and Mahamaya. When you go to the temple, you can see that. Chandi's picture also is there. And you know what people give to her? You have to pray to Simhavahini that so and so is very seriously sick and he should be cured from the disease. So you are praying. So you must say at that time that I will give you one gift to you. So you are telling to Lord that, or the goddess, that I will give you. What is the gift, A doll of horse. It looks like a horse. That horse doll is made. And according to the capacity of the donor, it can be very big, it can be a small size. So you go and leave it there. And if you leave it there, the goddess is said to accept. Okay, your gift is accepted, now I will do something for you. Like that, the goddess does. So that is the belief there. And then she is the Manasa goddess. She is another kind of deity. She is a serpent goddess. So in Indian astrology, they have found out some of the diseases that afflict a person has come from the previous life's karmic effects. And certain karmic effects are so terrific, and they come in this life as a disease. And what type of karmic effect, karmic law would have been operation here? They say, according to the astrology, there is a called Sarpa Dosha. This is called Sarpa Dosha. Sarpa means a serpent, Dosha means a defect. A defect of, suppose I have killed a serpent, or I have caused a serpent to be killed by telling somebody you kill this serpent. So there is a dosha, there is a defect has come, and that will catch me, and that will stay with me. And it will stay with me, and in that life, suppose it is unable to come out, the result, it will stay with me and pass it on to the next birth where this karmic effect will come. So the goddess of Sarpa, the serpents, Sarpa and serpents is the English word and Sanskrit word, very uniquely related. So this serpent goddess is worshipped, and she removes those type of defects in one's astrological way. So Manasa also is worshipped there. Simhavani is there. And then he goes on to say how a holy place where the house of Mukherjees were there and nearest to a pond. And though there are several other ponds were there, this particular pond where Mukherjee's house was there, that is Holy Mother's parental house, that pond itself was known even before Mukherjees came there as Punyapuku, as a holy pond. Punya means holy, meritorious. So a holy pond. So near that holy pond, Holy Mother was born. So what a wonderfully he is bringing together, tying together all these things. And then that is a thatched room was there. There was a drawing room, and the kitchen and husking sheds were there, and etc. etc. And he goes on to say, and nearby, if you go to the westward direction, on the northern bank, he said, there is another small village called Shihor on the northern bank of the Agar. So, etc. After telling them, then he says that one of the important for us, one of the important association or the significance of Jayrambati lies in its association with Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. So, and he says Kamarpukur is nearby, Anur is nearby, Sham Bazar is nearby, and he is bringing out how the Mukherjees and the Chatterjees are also were known to each other by the different relations. And then while going to Kamarpukur, there is another shrine of a goddess comes, and her name is Vishalakshi. This Vishalakshi, it seems to be the Kamarpukur devotees, Kamarpukur people's Grama Devata. In Hinduism, there is a concept, when we speak about the multiple gods and goddesses, the questions come how the question is dealt with is very interesting. Just a small digression. They say that every baby that is born into a family has to worship a particular deity dedicated to that family. That means you are born to a particular family, I am born to a particular family, he is born to some other family. So each family has got a particular deity which is being worshipped by the next progeny and next progeny, next progeny. So the father is worshipping a deity and he will hand it over to his son. And the son will start worshipping. And the son will hand it over to his son. So by lineage, it comes. So this is called Kula Devata. Kula Devata is in every house you will find there is one Kula Devata. And then that was where you are born. Now, in which village or the situation where you are born, around the village or around the cluster of villages, there is one prominent deity is there. And that deity is also worshipped by the entire villagers. That means, though your Kula Devata may be different to each house, but then the Grama Devata, the village deity, is one for all. Now all people will go to that village deity. The big celebrations will be there. At that time, village deity gets prominence, and all will go and worship that. Though my Kula Devata is different from that village deity, instead even that, I will go and worship that. So there is a Kula Devata first, and next comes to the Grama Devata. After this Grama Devata, when you are getting age of 10, 11, 12 like that, then every child is asked to choose its own preferential deity. That means that becomes the Ishta Devata. So from Kula Devata, I have a Kula Devata and I have a Grama Devata also, I worship that. And of coming of age, I start finding all these multiple deities. I will start choosing a particular deity for my own spiritual development. And that is called in English, Swamiji creates this Ishta Devata as a chosen deity. So you can choose from the multiple deities. And then the progress goes in such a way that your chosen deity has assumed the forms of multiple deities that you feel around. So around you, there are maybe 330 crores of deities, as we say. We have got gods and goddesses. But what are these gods and goddesses? They are all nothing but the manifestation of your chosen deity. So your chosen deity is, for instance, Durga. Then what you do? You think Durga is manifesting as Manasa. Durga is manifesting as Ganesha. Durga is manifesting as Dharma Thakur. So Durga is manifesting as any number of deities. So if your chosen deity is Shiva, then you start thinking Shiva is manifesting as a feminine goddess in the form of Durga. So you start interposing your chosen deity into all the deities, and with that, what happens? You stick to the position that God supremely is one. There is no multiplicity of gods and goddesses, but this manifestation of one supreme God is now taking the manifestation of different forms and names. So this comes, according to Vedanta, this will be the final knowledge one must reach. But before that, suddenly if you tell some people, they will get confused. If you say all gods are same, they will not understand. This is how a snake goddess can be equivalent to another goddess, they will ask. So it will be confusing to them. So we allow stages by stages to grow. First you start worshipping your Kula Devata, and then go to Grama Devata outside, and then choose your own Ishta Devata. So in this way, the different deities also become part of his spiritual evolution. So that's how all these deities are put here. So we find that how wonderfully in Jayrambati, all these deities have come together, and here itself is born Holy Mother, who has now become a deity herself for millions of people. You know how many people have told me also that my Ishta Devata is Holy Mother. And I asked, you see, my Gurudev, Sannyasa Guru was Swami Veereshwaranji. So we brahmacharis were all sitting under him, and he was talking to us. He was initiated by Holy Mother herself. So in a very casual way, we were all young fellows. So we were all sitting under him and talking, and he was talking some serious subject. Suddenly one brahmachari put a question to him. Maharaj, okay, what is your Ishta Devata? Generally, you don't ask this question. This your chosen ideal is your personal thing. You don't ask this. What chosen ideal each one is having, you are not supposed to know. What is your chosen ideal? Why should I ask? The gurus, they know by their contemplation. You come and sit. In Sri Ramakrishna's life, we find when Shivananji Maharaj, Sharat Maharaj, goes there and then and sits under him, he says, hey, your Ishta Devata is not this. This is your Ishta Devata. Like that he says. So Guru can fathom the mind of you, and he will say that which is your Ishta Devata and test. So generally to Guru only you can say. If the Guru asks, what is the deity that you want to worship? So you say, I like Krishna, I like Durga. You can say that. But you can't ask him. But this brahmachari, very young and then very childish manner, he asked. But we found him not at all getting angry. And some of the brahmacharis, we thought, hey, he has put a very bad question. You should not ask this question, and particularly to Guru, you cannot ask what is your Ishta Devata like that. So what he would say, and he very calmly and very lovingly, he said, my Ishta is Holy Mother. She is my Guru, she is my Ishta, and she is my all in all. That means, you see, even when he worships Sri Ramakrishna, he merges her in Holy Mother. and she becomes his Ishta, because Ishta Devata is manifesting. Some devotees come and ask me, Maharaj, I have been trained from beginning to worship different deities. Now I have got a Ishta, I have got a mantra, everything is okay. But when I go to different temples, I feel somewhat reluctant to bow down before other deities. Why? The conflict is there in the mind. If I worship this deity, then my Ishtadevata may get angry. So if he's like that, my Ishtadevata, I cannot, displease my Ishtadevata. So you see, these problems of many deities, this one of the problems is this, that which deity you will satisfy. There is a Hanuman is there is a Ram is there is a Krishna is there. Which deity I will take? And if you don't worship, they will also get angry. Hanuman will say, hey, you came to my place and you didn't worship. Let me see you. Like that he may say. So like this type of funny ideas come into the minds of the devotees. And what is the answer for that? I tell them, look, you have got Ishta or not? Said, yes, I have got a chosen deity. When you stand before Hanuman, close your eyes, put your palms together, bow down to him. Hey Hanuman, I bow down to you. Because there Hanuman's form and name is there. So you say, hey Hanuman, I'm bowing down to you. At that time, what you should see? You should say that I am glad that my Ishta is now presenting himself or herself in the form of Hanuman in front of me. So when you open your eyes and see, you are not seeing your Ishta. Suppose my Ishta is Krishna and I am standing before Hanuman deity. So what I should think, my Ishta Krishna is now manifesting himself in the form of Hanuman in front of me. I bow down to my Ishta only, but my Ishta is standing here in the form of Hanuman. So there is no conflict. It comes in Tulsidas' life. Tulsidas was a great saint, and he has written that Tulsidas Ramayana, Sri Ramcharitmanas. It's a very famous work. In Hindi, it's a great devotional work. And he was very, very, staunch devotee of Sri Ramchandra. And he would not believe in the existence of Krishna also. That was the condition. This was all before he wrote the Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas. So in the initial stage, he was completely devoted to Hanuman and Ram. Ram was his Ishtadevata. Now, he was asked to accompany some people for Vrindavan. Said, if we are going to Vrindavan, come with him. He said, what I will do in Vrindavan? Vrindavan everywhere is Krishna only. So I am not interested in seeing Krishna. So don't call me. They said, Are, come with us. We are going in a group. Why you should be left out? We are all friends, come. So he went with them. But he told them, his friends, I won't enter any temple. Okay, they agreed. But then, one temple they went, Krishna has been so beautifully decorated. It was something so charming. And the friends felt, our friend is standing outside. He's missing this beauty. At least he should see the beauty. So they went and told him, hey, come inside. Nothing, you don't need to worship, you don't need to bow down before Krishna. Just stand there and see the decoration there. So finally, he said, okay, I will come inside. I am not interested in seeing decoration. I will close my eyes. You do whatever, but come inside. So they took him inside. He closed his eyes and he went near the deity. Wow. At that time, Krishna is telling Radha, hey Radhe, my dearest devotee has come and he doesn't like this form of Krishna. So I am now changing into Ram. You change into Sita. When he will open his eyes, we shall present him as Sita Ram. Then they were telling, again and again telling Tulsidas, hey, look at this. He said, open your eyes and see the decoration. He said, no. Okay, I will touch the feet of your Lord. That way I will show my respect to him. But I don't want to see him. So Tulsidas bent and put his two hands on the feet of the Lord. He knows how Krishna is well decorated. Everywhere you go to a Krishna temple, he is highly decorated, no? With all the pitambar and with all the silk clothing and all the ornaments, what ornaments they give to Krishna. And all these things are there. So when he kept his hands on the feet, there was no shoes and there was no ornaments lying on the feet. Slowly he raised his hands on the feet. When it came to the ankle part, he found the cloth was coming in touch with his hands. The cloth was a very, very rough cloth. Krishna doesn't wear rough cloth. He always wears satin clothes. So how is this rough cloth is there? Then slowly he opened his eyes and he found Ram and Sita standing. And that was the turning point in the life of Tulsidas. And then in Ramcharitmanas, in every chapter, he praises about different deities, for starting from Shiva onwards. And wonderful verses he has created, Even now we all say that, those verses. So it's a beautiful verses on Shiva, on Ganesha, on Parvati, on Krishna, and like that, wonderful things. So that my own Ishta manifests before me in multiple types of forms and names. That can only make your mind calm, Otherwise, this doubt will be there, the conflict will be there, and you will not be able to progress in spiritual life. So here we find how Swami Gambirananji explains about this village. And then he says, but the Calcutta, which is going to be one of the important venue of the Ramakrishna drama, you find that is not very far from Jayrambati. He says in those days it was there were no roads, and the village roads were not at all very smooth. And then yesterday when Swamiji took me to New Grange, I saw these highways. Oh, what a beautiful roads, And so I was telling him, even in South Africa also I have seen, so beautiful. You can actually throw milk on that and drink from that. So clean and so nice and so smooth the roads are. It was not like that. Nowadays, of course, in Calcutta also the roads are now laid like that. And Jayrambati roads have come up very well. Very well. Though in those days it was not there. Apart from the bad roads, there were a lot of potholes, etc. Apart from that, the fear of robbers were there. So nowadays there is no such problems, robbers problem. But those days the robbers were main. And this one of the encounter of Holy Mother with the robber also will come later in the same Telebelo village. We'll see that later. So that, and people have to walk all this mile. Holy Mother walked to Dakshineswar all through this route only. And Sri Ramakrishna has walked several times. And many people of the devotees of Ramakrishna also have walked. And this is, and particularly in the night you can never go. And there was a train coming to Vishnupur till I think a few years back. The train service was there up to Vishnupur. You go to Vishnupur by train from Howrah and then get down and then start, either take a cart or walk to Kamarpukur with Jayrambati. But nowadays the road has come up to Jayrambati, Kamarpukur, no problem. And a train service also is now being extended. So there is in between there is a small town which is somewhat developed town. It's called Arambagh. The Arambagh also is a wonderful place. So Jayrambati, though shut out from modern civilization in those days, has another important factor, that is the festivities. That is lots of festivals. Plenty of festivals. These festivals, wonderful. In Delhi, when I was recently there, so the Swamiji asked me to the youth, about 60, 70 youth come every week on Sundays, and they have a small forum. In that forum, if any Swami comes, the Swami asked me to say some words. So I went there. So at that time, the festivals season, so Diwali was coming. So I put a topic, the function of a function. Diwali is a function. We say the function, Pongal is a function, Diwali is a function. What is the function of a function? When you celebrate, what are the benefits the society gets or individual gets? So we had a nice discussion among the youth. One after another, the boys and girls were telling, it is already in the YouTube, you can see that function of a function. So that a lot of discussion, and each one brought out one advantage of having a function. So in India, we find plenty of functions, not only in India, in any culture you see, all over the world. The functions, that is the festivities, have got a wonderful binding aspect. That's why the festivities are important for everybody, for individuals. Monks may not attend all the festivities, but then if you want to stay in the society and you must have a bond with the people around you, then the festivities come very handy. And you go there, you meet different kinds of people. Even just saying hello, how are you? That itself enough. That gives a wonderful idea that you belong to a community and the community have the festivities. So there are plenty of festivities are there. Particularly it says Shivaratri days. These Shivaratri days, villagers go to the Shiva temples and then they do upas, that is fasting. Whole day and night they fast. And then kirtana, the songs, continuous, 24 hours a day and night, the kirtanas are going. Along with the kirtanas, that is the songs, rural dramas from the mythology are also enacted. And people are there. You see, the jatra, they are called jatras, the dramas. These jatras are wonderful in Bengal. They were precursors of bringing the modern dramatics. In ancient time also we find the Sanskrit literature, we have got like Shakuntalam and Kalidasa was a great poet who wrote a lot of dramatics. And the dramatics are even today, we study those dramas. So these dramas are taken jatra in the form, they call it jatra. Jatra means travel. So how the jatra term came to the associated with the drama, I do not know. But I can easily imagine that every jatra, when you see that, when you sit before seeing and when you get up after seeing, there has been a travel mentally by you. You have traveled some distance. You have learned something. You have progressed at some level. So that always comes because these dramas were not merely entertaining shows. They have lots and lots of morals, lots and lots of stories, and from the mythology they bring such very elevating stories. And the importance lies in these jatras. The language is couched in most simple, where a villager can understand. So this is something wonderful. That's why the jatras are people patiently wait for Shivaratri. Oh, we will have a jatra. And villagers only they do. From this village they go to another village and do. From another village another troop comes here and they do. Like that. But it's wonderful. And then talent also comes out from that jatras. And now the Jayrambati, if you see, there's a nice road is there and the temple has come up in that village and there's a white dome of the temple there and there's a beautiful, in the metal pennant, the word Ma in Bengali is written there. You see, that is the Jayrambati temple. You can see outside that. It's a beautiful, that Ma is written. Ma means mother, that has been engraved. And it was inaugurated or consecrated on 19th April 1923, which was a Akshaya Tritiya. Akshaya Tritiya is one of the important holy festival there, or everywhere. Every Hindu observes in his own home. And that, according to Hindu calendar, the Akshaya Tritiya day was chosen for the consecration, where hundreds of devotees are coming to see Mother. And there is also a big puja is celebrated in Jayrambati in Mother's house, and that is called Jagaddatri Puja. That is also very important. Jagaddatri Puja is done, and there's a story also which will come later also, how the Jagaddatri Puja was started there. And then all these things have enhanced the popularity of Jayrambati. and easier accessibility is gradually converting it into a center of attraction. So, the author Swami Gambirananji is now wondering, simply by the birth of the Holy Mother at this insignificant hamlet, made it have leaped into such prominence within such a short time. So, mother, when she used to go to Calcutta, and when you come back to Jayrambati, she would keep her hands on the mud of the Jayrambati and bow down and to take it on her head. And she would use one phrase. What is the phrase? Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. Mother, Janani means mother, my own mother who uh, begot me, who brought me into this world. My mother Janani, and Janma Bhumi, the birthplace, that is my own country. So, my mother and my motherland. These two are Swargadapi Gariyasi. They are superior to Swarga, the heavens. You know, we all think, we mortals, we think that heavens are the wonderful place. But she would say, more than heaven, better than heaven, if any supreme place is there, that is, there are two places. That is my mother who brought me to this world and my motherland where I was born. So these two are supreme. So that is how mother used to say. With this Sanskrit adage, he closes the first chapter. We shall continue later. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.